I think so.
It's gone live now. What the fuck?
Oh, is that?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to probably edit that first bit out.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I can't see you though. Have you got your camera?
Yeah. Yeah.
My phone's dodgy, mate. So, welcome everyone to the stream. This stream's just talking about all the games today and what we think about it and going forwards, really. So, what did you think about today?
Well, I don't think any Forest fan would have come in thinking that we were going to walk out with 3 points, realistically. I said myself that I think you take a point, you have to look at West Ham. They finished, the semi-final of the Europa League last season. Jared Bowen getting into the England squad. Didn't get a sniff against Toffolo today whatsoever. First half was clearly better than the second, sorry. But when you go 1-0 up, you're always going to try. It felt a bit like Wembley when you went 1-0 up in the first half and you try to sit behind for periods of the second half. But 3 points, who cares how you get it? Doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, did you see that Richard Keys saying about, well, he was slating Forest, really.
Well, he did at the start of the season, didn't he?
Well, he said it today as well. He said, Forest have ridden their luck now, and that's all they're going to get this season.
So, I don't know how you
he sounded really angry at it, to be fair.
Well, he had a pop at the start of the season, didn't he? That with the overhaul of players and things like that, he doesn't think that Forest should be there for some reason. And this is coming from a bloke who got sacked off Sky. Like, he has got no right to talk about what people can and can't be doing. Like, he's clearly not trusted to do what he's professionally able to do. But for him to have a jibe week 2 of the season saying that we've rode a luck, yeah, of course, different parts of the game. If you're halfway through the season, chances are those two that hit the bar probably do go half a yard the other way and do probably go in. But at the end of the day, I don't care. It doesn't matter. They didn't go in today. And they've come there thinking they're going to walk away with it and come empty-handed and going back to London with nothing. So let them have it.
Yeah, it was 2 well-struck shots, really. And I've never seen it where the balls come out instead of going in twice. So we were really lucky, in my opinion. But so, do you think O'Brien deserved man of the match today?
I think him and Mangala were quality today. I think it's hard to pick between the two because Mangala broke the play up so well in terms of just shuffling it side to side, being there, adding a bit of pressure onto the people in front of him. But then I think when you look at it properly, the runs that O'Brien was doing in terms of breaking into a channel, tracking back, winning the ball, just being a bit of a threat with the ball at his feet, I don't think you can say that he doesn't deserve it. I think either of them could have done. But if they give it to him, happy days. Completely different player from last week. Seemed to be the O'Brien that Huddersfield had that tried to play against us. So, no, fair play to him.
Yeah, my standout today was Near Carter as well.
Very hard to play against Antonio, isn't it?
Yeah, and it worked. So I think he frustrated Antonio as well, obviously, with that goal. That was out of frustration, in my opinion. But
yeah, no, absolutely. You see it the amount of times Antonio was running towards the ref because he'd been wrestled or he'd had a kick through the legs to get the ball or whatever. I don't think a lot of these Premier League strikers are used to being roughed up to the level that he got today. Obviously, fair play to him. Brilliant ovation at the end of the game for a player who did well when we were there, but wasn't his day. Happy days, doesn't matter, does it? But no, I think Nearcut had a very good game. Like we said earlier, hopefully it's not too long. Hopefully it was a tweak or something that he felt, so he went. But Cookie came in and did a job at the same time as well. Won his headers, kicked it out. That's all he needed to do. So happy days. It looks like it's some cover for him if worst case.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously with these three signings that have come in, I think they will literally, in my opinion anyway, will just be benches. It's just made our bench stronger. Well, maybe no, but where do they? Who are you dropping from the team today to put one of them in?
I'll probably get a lot of hate for this. I'm dropping Johnson.
Yeah.
You look at today and last Saturday. Yeah, if you write last season off, completely different level playing in the Championship.
Yeah.
At Newcastle, not interested. Today, I didn't think he was really interested again. He'll go up for a header to try put them off, but I didn't think there's really any desire. Obviously, shame he was given offside, but because it was taken well. But I don't think it would be fair to drop. If you had to pick one after the performance, you can't drop Awani for what he did to those two centre-halves. They're going to be having nightmares of him at the end tonight when they go to bed, because he ran them ragged for 60, 65 minutes. So if I had to drop one of them, I'm dropping Johnson.
Yeah.
Teach him a lesson.
I mean, maybe it'll, this is what I said after the game to Tom. I said, Tom said that Dennis is going to give some real pushback on Johnson for a place. Obviously,
that's what he needs.
Dennis is just as quick as Johnson.
Probably better with the ball at his feet as well, really. Just obviously finishing, maybe Johnson might be better in terms of getting into the right place at the right time. But from what I've seen of Dennis, I think he looks great.
Yeah, Johnson's got to look at it and be like, oh crap, my place might not be guaranteed every week. I mean, you can't just go off of what he's done last season all the time. I mean, he is good and he is quick, and he can change a game when he's switched on. But like I said, like you just said, it's the ball's in the air. It's the not coming to the ball sometimes. Pressing.
Doesn't track his man ever.
Yeah, I don't want to be negative of a win.
No.
But definitely going forwards to get them higher finishes, these are stuff that you just have to look at with his game. I don't think people see the light, how we play live to what it is on telly. I think there's two different games, because everyone I've spoke to that's watched the telly is like, Johnson's unreal, but a few times last season, like probably the Liverpool game, Huddersfield in the final, Bournemouth, that long ball's been played. Obviously, we know Johnson we have to play it on the floor with him, and that's the game he likes. But it's one of them, innit, where he's going to have competition now, so he's going to either have to up his game or.
That's what I mean. It's just like it's not about being negative in terms of what we're saying. Is at the end of the day, it's teaching a young player that look, this club is bringing people in, and they are going to be fighting for your position. So regardless of who you are, regardless of what name you've got, etc., Cooper always says next man up. If he's not performing, the next man will be up. It's as simple as that. I don't think you can't afford to ride out sometimes when someone's not interested. But don't get me wrong, the amount of times where you see taking like the Sheffield United at home in the second leg, McKenna plays that ball through. He's so good at arriving into the box at the right time. He does that brilliantly. But I just seem to think he sometimes gets away without having to do the hard stuff that other people have then got to put another 10% in. But if it gives him the competition and then he ups it another level, happy days, because then we're getting an extra 10% from what he's got, and that means he's producing on the pitch at the same time. But no, I think it's definitely to add a bit of competition, a bit of fight into it, and see who wants to play.
Yeah, I that's the only thing I'd probably be a bit negative about today. Is just his not work rate, because he does work when he has to, but it's them letting the ball
selfish stuff
come to him, not meeting the ball. Yeah,
it's just the running off of a man, running into the channel, trying to stretch the game out when it gets hard. Like you see O'Brien in the 75th minute pointing down into the corner because he's willing to run that channel. Whereas people will look for Johnson because he'll sit on the last man. But you don't sit there with him running across the field, trying to stretch the play and trying to chuck itself into a corner if it means he has to go to the opposite side. He closed down a few good plays today in terms of either winning them, throwing down in their corner or things like that. So that part of his game, he was good. And obviously, like I say, it's a shame that VAR obviously ruled out his half a body offside because he took the goal well as well. But just hopefully you get the better version if there's a bit of competition around him. But we get 3 points. Keep it on a high.
So all the midfielders that have come in, what are you thinking of them then? Obviously, we've got the lad from Atlanta coming in. Obviously, played Champions League football.
It seems really positive. All the people that have mentioned about him, obviously on the other podcasts and stuff that you've seen, this person's playing Champions League football and he's controlling the midfield for these teams. You don't get to his age still playing at a high level in Champions League football. Like, what is he, 30, 31 or something like that? He obviously
30,
still,
and
he still thinks he can challenge at the top level. And obviously the board think that he'll be a good addition again, probably just to fill the numbers to an extent. I think that one will just add a little bit more of quality and experience into that area, because I think we lack that a little bit. A lot of the central midfielders we've got are very young players, so you get the energy out of them, but you don't always get this is the right time to do this ball, right time to sit in front of the back four, etc. I think he'll bring that in. But if he comes in and he starts playing, fingers crossed he comes in and does well.
Yeah, so like what I've seen all over Facebook and Twitter, the Forest were outclassed. I don't think that at all. I mean, that when Williams played that 1-2 and they were away and then played Johnson in, teams are going to find it hard to defend against that. Williams was quality today, I thought. If you looked at him at Newcastle to what he was today, he's come on like 100% since Newcastle.
They all have. This week it was a complete chalk and cheese to last Saturday. I think they rocked up last week. I think the occasion probably got to a lot of the players a little bit. It's a daunting place walking out there last week when they've got all these flags and everything going round. But that's exactly how the West Ham players would have felt today, coming out and walking and seeing that. But yeah, I don't think it's fair to say that we're outclassed, because I think if a good team, so a top 4 team, plays how we did in terms of the chances we created in that first half, they're 3-0 up or so by half time. And obviously we don't have that quality to be able to do it, but we were still 1-0 up at half time. Of course you're going to sit back and try and hold on to what you've got. But then if Johnson steps half a yard back, we're 2-0 up at that point.
Yeah.
I don't see. I don't see how they can say that we're outclassed when we've had the opportunities. What we did, like I said earlier, halfway through the season, those 2 chances that hit the bar probably would go in. But
yeah,
it's just coming from people who don't want to see Forest do well or for whatever reason, isn't it? So let them talk. We'll go under the cover. Let them talk.
I'm waiting for TalkSport's analysis on it. To be fair, I haven't looked at what they've wrote or spoke about yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of negative towards Forest, and then that West Ham was somehow robbed. But
well, yeah. Did you see what Jamie O'Hara said when he spoke to Kevin Nolan? Did you see that?
No, I didn't know.
So he said on TalkSport that he obviously gets on with Kevin Nolan because apparently Nolan lives in Nottingham. So he'll know what the city's about in terms of telling all of those lot. And he said he was on the phone to him and they were gutted, I think was the words that he said, that West Ham were the first team to play against Forest at the City ground because they knew what they were going to walk into in terms of the hostility that they were going to face, the quality of football that we do when we're at home, and how much I think the fans get behind their team. I think it showed for 60, 70 minutes of that game, if not more. You've got the Trent end standing up, like clapping and chanting and stuff like that. That doesn't happen week in, week out. But because of the occasion, I think we were better. I don't think it's fair to say that we weren't.
Well, it's like the cup runs last year, where people are standing up all over. They were occasions. Now every week is going to be an occasion for every fan that's in there. People are breaking their back to get into the stadium and be there to watch the football. I mean, there's a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon that I wasn't bothered about Forest 3 years ago or whatever. So
that's what I mean.
Now,
sorry, go on.
Yeah, go on.
No.
So yeah, it's just every week's an occasion now, isn't it? It's a nervous game. Like when we at half time, I'm like, flipping out. We're 1-0 up. We've got to suffer a half of West Ham pushing now. I mean, West Ham. I looked on their forum earlier, and everyone was saying that how bad a place West Ham are in. They played Man City last week, and they played very well, knocked the ball about well, and they were very good. But you're up against the best team in the world.
Yeah, of course you are. Yeah.
And then they've come to the City ground today, off the back of we've made signings, and we need to get our first points on the board. Yeah. So they've been to 2 games where it's been hard for them.
Yeah, and absolutely.
I mean, the first game, Haaland's desperate to get his goals. Obviously, he scored 2. And then, obviously, today, another one's got his first goal. It was a bit of a comedy goal, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a bit fortunate, wasn't it? It was wrote in the stars that Lingard had that opportunity right in front of them. And whether he's not put enough behind it properly or it's connected to like too far towards his heel, you just wish that he'd have taken it right in front of them. But
it just seemed to be no power, did there, at all on it?
No. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Taiwo's there to put it away, isn't he?
Yeah, not that he knew anything about it.
No, what a game he had.
The only comment Tom had to say was, when he took it round the keeper.
Yeah.
Keenan Davis is having he's finishing that, but he upped his game today massively.
Yeah, that's like I said earlier.
What he did pre-season.
That's what I mean. I'll be the first person to hold my hand up and say I don't think that he was going to do very well based on what I'd seen of him so far. I will happily admit that. But if he's going to be rocking up against defenders like he's played today, bearing in mind Zuma's won a Champions League and a Premier League, by the way, regardless of how much he's played, but his quality is apparently enough for him to be in those teams. He's bullied both of them. At what point did you look when the ball was in the air thinking, you know what, he's been dominated like what Niakate was doing to Antonio? He didn't. Everything was him. And like I say, I think he's going to be somebody that they say that, look, give us 60 minutes of what you can do see what you can do, try and rough them up a little bit. Then you'll come off after that. But fair play to him today. I thought he was great.
Yeah, he just bullied Zuma all game, didn't he? Just so. Yeah, looking forward. What do you think for the Everton game? Are you going to that one?
No, we didn't get tickets for it. Annoyingly, I think it was the one where the queue was supposed to happen half an hour before, and then it seemed to not be a queue. It got to 10 o'clock, and then it was a free for all for the tickets. So I think they've realised
there was no queue, was there?
No.
Yeah, I managed to get 2, but I had to log in, log out, so we can get tickets.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's very much gutting for people that want to get to every game. I mean,
I know.
Obviously, there's so much talk about ticketing anyway, but
it's going to be interesting what they're going to do with the main stand and how they're going to work out those fans. But to go back to what you were saying in terms of that game, I can't envisage us not getting anything from that game. I think you have to go to there off the back of today, chest out, saying, you know what, we're here to get something off you today, because they're poor. They are very, very poor. They've got no strikers. They've got poor defence. They've got a couple okay players. I think if you put that Forest team man for man against that Everton team, you're picking more Forest players than you are Everton.
Yeah, I expect us to win that. I mean, I'm gutted that I can't go. Obviously, I had tickets for it, but obviously I'm in Egypt anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of them. I stupidly booked a holiday in the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see us not winning that game. I know it's at Goodison Park, but if you go off today, West Ham was still good enough to beat all the lower division in that division teams today.
Absolutely.
And obviously, with the 2 off the under the bar, we was lucky with that. That's the only lucky thing in terms of about that game. I mean, Henderson was unreal today, I thought.
Absolutely unreal. He claimed everything. He won everything. Saved everything. Fair play.
Yeah. I ain't got really that much negative to say. We pinged the ball about. O'Brien was everywhere. He was bullying players as well. To have Declan Rice, England international, in the middle, and to pretty much keep him quiet for 90 minutes.
Yeah, he only got into it the last 5 minutes or so, didn't he? When he was trying to drag the ball forward, you could see him trying to pull the team forward with him. But when they got to the edge of the box, you're thinking, you're not getting anywhere, because there's always a man in front of them, and there's always someone reading where you're going to be going next. I think the only thing that we need to see, it'd be great to see a Lingard when I'd say he's fully fit in terms of his match fitness, because I think he's still getting there in terms of his fitness, his sharpness, and what he wants to do. There's no doubt the quality that he's got and what he can bring to it. But I think if you get him to up his levels, the further he goes, it's only going to get better, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he probably did need that goal today for himself, but
yeah,
it's one of them. Let's hope he gets his first against Everton.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
He was everywhere today, though. Still, wasn't he?
That's what I mean. You've got people who have been slating Lingard for the last 6 weeks or so, saying about where he's signing, where he's going. Obviously, then comes to us, and then an absolutely poor excuse of them trying to chuck notes. By the way, today I think there was about 15 of them on the floor, and they threw them at Williams for no reason, not even Lingard.
Was that the corner bit? Yeah,
down in the corner, like they're chucking notes to go off towards Lingard, thinking it's going to do something. But surely, if you play, you think that, and you're like, you'll up your level a little bit, and try and antagonise you a little bit. But you see him, the first half, sprinting 50, 60 yards back when they went through. Again, in the second half, there was one 50, 60 yards back, last man back. So he's obviously still got that determination about him. I don't think he's there just to pick up what's obviously a brilliant paycheck that he's had. Because at the end of the day, it's still Premier League football. You'll get found out.
Well, West Ham offered more money, didn't they?
Yeah,
West Ham offered him more money to go sign for him. But the only times I thought West Ham looked very dangerous was that overload on Williams.
Yeah, Ben Rama carried the ball very well towards him, didn't he?
Yeah, there was 2-on-1 in the first half most times, but then in the second half it seemed to be they cut in and then it went flat from there every time they put inside.
Yeah,
so,
the ball was either overhit, it was headed out, they tried to play it inside and it was blocked and stuff like that. But I think when you speak about the game that Williams had today, some great balls he put in the first half. If that the one to Awoni's like half a yard lower, that's right in the centre of his forehead and it can go anywhere. Obviously, he's put it over. But then in terms of fullbacks, you've got Toffolo today. I think he took a lot of criticism last week in terms. I don't think he was, should we say, Premier League quality. But he's just kept, at the back end of last season, one of the most informed wingers in the league, hence the reason he got into the England team, completely quiet. What has Jarrod Bowen done today?
No, took a corner. That's all I can remember him doing today.
Yeah. That's all it is. He's gone off without a sniff. And then, obviously, it's Toffolo that's created the ball. He's got in between a couple of players, great pullback, and obviously the goal happened, but I think he deserves a lot of credit for how he played today as well.
And one thing I'll say is the upgrade of we had the England manager watching our players. He wasn't just there for watching Jarrod Bowen at all.
No. I think if he wanted to watch, should we say, a quality game of football, he'd have gone to the Chelsea Spurs game, wouldn't he? But I think he's realised there's probably a couple of players there. Obviously, he's got Henderson as well that he needs to look at. I think if Henderson keeps playing it like that, there's no way he's not on that plane out to Qatar at the end of the year. Like, how many times are we chanting England's number one today? Like,
that's what I mean. How many times does I know he's been ace for us in the past, but how many times does he play for Everton and concede 3 or 4 and still be England's number one?
It's so weird, isn't it? But he seems to do it in an England shirt. Whenever Pickford puts on that England, well, yeah, absolutely. Both of them, as soon as they pull on that England shirt, they're completely different players. But you'd like to think that you never know what he's looking at. It could be that is looking at a couple of Forest players just to see what they're like. And if they start to hit a bit of form, you might think back to, I remember seeing them at the start of the season. They've come on, done well. Like, of course, he's going to be looking at your Bowens and your Declan Rices and what they can do. But why not be a bit selfish and say he's looking at Worrell, he's looking at Henderson, obviously. Stuff like that, why not?
Imagine if they did get a call-up.
Well, I mean,
Worrell's played for under-21s, hasn't he, for England? He's
captain.
There's a few players in there that have played for England under-21s.
Mm-hmm.
The Sturridge as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
I do want to see more to Sturridge's game, though. Yeah,
I think it's if you could build a striker in terms of Awoni's physicality and is putting himself about, and he has the finishing ability of Sturridge, you've got a great striker, because all Sturridge is built to score goals in terms of the way that he can cut in. We saw it last season, scoring a hat-trick, putting in the top corner. Fair play. But like you say, you need him just to be a little bit more, should we say? Because we all know he can finish. It's just putting himself about.
Well, that finish against, who was it against? Was it
the hat-trick one?
No, was it Notts County in pre-season when he scored? Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times did he finish like that last season when he did it against Huddersfield in the FA Cup as well, didn't he? Cuts inside, curls it around the keeper. So what do you think of this comment on the screen now? Think Colback gets in over Mangala?
If I was to go off, if you're going off today, I don't think it's fair to say that he will. I think Colback's another one, like we said earlier about Freuler, that's going to be more of an experienced head now in terms of what can he do to pass on information to players. I think Mangala, fingers crossed, is going to turn out to be a bit of a gem. Like, he's only going to get better. It's his second week in English football, and look what he was doing in that first half today or whatever. I'll be very surprised if, unless there's injuries, for one reason or rotations, etc., bookings, if you see Colback play a lot in a Forest shirt, even again. He might play against Grimsby in that Carabao Cup game, stuff like that. That's probably where you'll see a Dennis or things like that rock up and play to get the minutes. But I think that's his only chance of playing again, personally, if it stays as it is.
So for that game, are you going full first team or are you going fringe players and reserves?
No, I don't think you can put a lot of first teamers into it. I think there's a lot of games towards the end of the month, isn't there? So you've got Spurs and then City on the Wednesday and then Leeds on the Monday, and it's just before the Spurs game that you've got that Grimsby game. So I can't see personally many of them playing. I think your Freuler might get a game, Biancone might get a game. Players like these that are trying to get minutes, your Hennessy. People like that might get it. That's where, like I say, the only time I think Colback will play. I think a very good B team for Forest should be more than fine to go through that.
Yeah. So Tom's also put this. Also think that people said that Lingard is here for the money, and have egg on their face. Yeah. Well. Anyone that says that Lingard's here for the money is stupid in my eyes, because West Ham offered him more money. So anyone saying that is stupid and hasn't really done the research, like TalkSport said. So,
well, like that Tom just said in his comment, the tracking back that he was doing for the disallowed goal and stuff like that. I mentioned it earlier. You've got someone who's supposedly only there for the money, or he's not really interested, he's there to get a paycheck. Why is he busting a gut 50, 60, 70 yards up a field to try and win the ball back for his team if he's not interested? So I think it's just a lot of bitterness that they don't think little old Forest, who's just come up from the Championship after so long, should be signing players like this. They should be going elsewhere and stuff like that. That's how I think it's gone.
I think Lingard's going to have a lot of big moments this season.
He'll make his own luck. He's good enough to make his own luck.
Well, inevitably he wants the England spot, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think it's a push. I don't personally think that he'll get it. I think there's a lot of quality in the midfield there, but I think everyone's wanting the Lingard that was at West Ham. Don't you? That's the reason that Forest have signed him, because they know he can produce it, but it's just hopefully getting him fit quick enough and understanding how Cooper wants to play, being a little bit more not so selfish in terms of wanting to do better for the team. And who knows, that you've still got 3 months until they kick a ball in Qatar. Who knows what can happen by then?
Yeah. So obviously leading on from that, what do you think of obviously Morgan Gibbs-White? Well, if we was to go for him, he goes. That's Lingard's position. That floating number 9 role, really, pretty much number 10. That's what Lingard was playing today.
Personally, I don't think there's any need to go for him anymore. I think the numbers were just getting too silly. There's no way a player. No way. It's not worth it. That he's got 2 years left on a contract. Leave it till January. He won't have probably produced a lot potentially because he's not interested. He doesn't want to be there. He's got his girlfriend liking stuff on Twitter of fans saying that he needs to get out of the club. Like it's clear that he doesn't want to be there, but they're just pricing him out of going because for one reason or another we don't know. So I think if Forest turned around and said, here you go, we'll give you 40 million, 45 million, I think they deserve for a lot of people to be questioning that decision. I think that's the reason that they brought in probably Dennis to an extent, because he might be able to drop a little bit deeper because he does come deeper and pick the ball up. So he might be able to play at the top of a 3 or something like that if they change to a 4 at the back. Or obviously he'll go up front for that. But I'd be very surprised if there's anything else the Forest do for Gibbs-White personally.
Yeah, I personally, it's like the Spence thing. I can't remember what stream I said it on. It's got to a point where it's just boring now. You really 30 million. They should have snapped a hand off for him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not done anything good in their
seasons.
shirt. What's he done in a Wolves shirt? Nothing. Says a lot, doesn't it?
Sorry, mate, it left out.
No, you're right. You're fine. No worries.
Just everyone, I'll have a better internet by the time I get back from Egypt, and I can stream properly then, and set up a stream properly. But other than now, it's just trying to get as much content out that's decent, to be honest. So yeah, Everton, what's your score prediction for that one? If you're going from today's performance against this team that's probably 2 times as good as Everton, in my opinion, where's their goals?
To be honest, the first thing that came to my mind was 3-1 Forest. That's the first scoreline that I thought of, because you think about us playing in behind, them trying to keep hold of the ball, because they've got Anthony Gordon. Like he's not going to be able to get through a back three, not a chance. Like I say, the first score that came to my mind was 3-1 Forest, and that's what I'll stick with. I don't care who scores, but as long as we pick up something, as long as you get a point on the away and you win your games at home, you'll be fine come the end of the season.
So my little target right now is just to beat that 11 points first.
3 more wins, that's all we need.
Yeah, it's
3 wins and we're there.
It was funny, the Derby fans clinging on to capacity. That's all they've got to cling on to now, because they got 2,000 more fans in to their stadium that's bigger than ours.
Mate, they shouldn't be a club. Don't get me wrong. Like, a fair play for the takeover, and they should be winning League One and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, no other club got the treatment that they got last year. They shouldn't be a team. That's how I see it personally. Yeah. Let them cling on to what they've got. At the end of the day, we're 10 times better than what they were when they were last in the Premier League. Obviously, a part of me was hoping in that Carabao Cup draw, when I saw Derby come up as the home team, you wanted Forest to come up and say, "Look, now you're gonna get hurt here."
Yeah, you put a first team out. You put a first team out for that.
Could you imagine? Like, I think the audacity for them to turn around and say, "Well, we get more fans." Fair play to you. Your club needs your money, because you shouldn't be there anyway. You go pay off all your stuff and whatever you own, and what you don't own, and what you owe to people. Precisely.
Have a stadium.
Yeah, precisely. Let them cling on to it. We'll see where we are in 36 games' time.
All right, I'm going to cut it short there a bit, Joel, I think. So thank you for coming on, and we'll...
no, you're fine.
I'll set up another stream when we get back, when I'm on proper connection, and I'll promote it a bit better. I mean, I've literally, me and you has just come on, and I haven't promoted it at all, so...
That's fine. Anytime, mate, anytime.
Thank you, Tom, for your comments, and yeah, we'll talk again, and I'll enjoy my holiday.
Yeah, have a good time.
Sound, bro. I'll end that now.